Well, good evening. Welcome back to Virtual Pool 4 Online. Yes, we're back again for another match in this year's BP4 2021 8 Ball World Championships. And it's a one-loss side match starting in about 5 minutes' time. And if we have a look at the lineup, we've got the match that we're going to be watching between Fast Eddie and Quagmire. The good news is both players are here. And that's going to start, as I say, 5 minutes. There is another match starting in an hour's time between Casino Jim and Disabler. I won't be watching that one. But the other addition to the lineup is tomorrow night. Now this is going to clash because we have a big match between Albinario and Semi Pro, and that kicks off at 7 PM. That clashes with Sergeresh and Woody at 7 PM as well tomorrow night, and also at 7:30 we have Mooncake and Spectre Dawn. I think that's a one-loss side match as well. So there's matches crossing over one another, but the one we're going to be focusing on is going to be the Albinario Semi-Pro match. We also have a match on Sunday night at 9 PM between Shibo and Mr. Bill. Again, that's running starting too late for me. And then finally we have a match on Monday night between Hazard and John Boo, and that kicks off at 7 PM, and I should be there for that one. And that about covers the schedule of the upcoming matches. So remember, the one loss side is only a race to 8, so very important that these players take their chances. Now I have to say, I haven't seen a lot of Quagmire. If he plays a lot of tournaments, he must play them at a certain time when I'm not here. I don't even know where he's from. Let's have a look. Well, he was here a minute ago. I don't see him now unless he's in the... Where the hell? Oh, good evening, Bill. Well, I thought he was there. Maybe he's gone to reboot. Or maybe I'm just going past him all the time. Oh, Fast Eddie's there. He's from the States. Quagmire seems to have disappeared. Anyway, let's hope he gets back in time. Oh, there he is. Well, according to that, he's from Ireland, but as I say, I don't know whether he gets to play a lot of tournaments. But you know, based on that fact, I would put down Fast Eddie as a favourite because I've seen more of him than I have seen a Quagmire. But that's, you know, that I'm only really guessing. We have to wait and see what happens. Oh, Larry. Goodness me. Oh dear. We'll say no more. By the way, guys, you need to let me know what the stream's like, because I've got the snooker on in my second monitor. I'm watching the match between Yan Bingtao and John Higgins. So if there's any problem with the stream, let me know. I'll kill the snooker. So we're about 2 minutes away, right? If there's there's only Bill and Larry there at the moment. I don't know if anybody else is there, but I've got an update on Keith. And he sent me a picture today, and he's lying out flat out in his hospital bed with an oxygen mask on, so he's not in good shape at the moment. So he basically sent me a message to let me know he wasn't going to take part in the tournament. We all have to look at the picture to realise he won't be taking part in the tournament. He's not in a good place right now. Neither's John Higgins, because John Higgins is 1-0 down, and Yan Bingtao, well, he just missed a red. Commentator's curse. John Higgins is 9 points behind in the second frame. Right, so let's concentrate on the business in hand here. Good evening to Vertical Liquid. My goal was 7 games. Larry, you were slow out the blocks. I mean, 4-1 down and then you won like 6 in a row. And then basically had it in the bag. And then gave it away in the end. Right, room is up. Let's get in. Let's see how Quagmire plays. We'll only need to see a few shots to get a rough idea of what sort of level he's at. Good evening, Mark. So, Quagmire's in, ready to go. And I don't know what the hell's happened to Quagmire. Oh, there's his cue. I thought he'd gone. And of course, again, not knowing how Quagmire plays, I have to assume he doesn't play at all on the 10-footer. So it'll be a case of getting used to the distances he's hitting shots and getting the weight of the shot. But not only that, how good's his technique, what sort of levels his knowledge at. But I've never really seen him, so Fast Eddie could be in trouble. I'm none the wiser. I'm just going with the fact I've seen a lot more of Fast Eddie. But we'll say once we've seen him play 2 or 3 shots, we'll get an idea. Excuse me. Oh, here we go. So I presume Quagmire's on the bottom of the screen because he's at the top of the HUD. It won't be 11-7, Larry. This is a one-loss side. 8-5 or 8-6, something like that. Well, I think it's a one-loss side. Yeah, it is. Race to 8. So, Fast Eddie wins the lag. Ball on the break. Heard something go down. Well, he's certainly got limited choice in what he's going to go for. It's going to be solids. Through the fact that he had no other option. I mean, I suppose he could have played some sort of safety, but he didn't really have much as a choice for him. But Eddie could bank the 7 and just kill the cue ball and leave it there. But he's gone all out for the pot, so Quagmire's first visit, let's see what he can do. And he also has been left a problem by Eddie because that 13 ball is tight, but if you're right down the barrel it does go. And you might want to think about that right now if he's had a quick look at the 13. Of course, the other issue is the fact that the 8 ball isn't exactly going to be helping him. Yeah, I think he did. The angle he had, I don't think he had much to work with, but he tried to improve the 8 ball. Hasn't really done any good. Probably made it a little bit worse that he's pushed it to the rail. Now the question's whether he's going to stop potting balls. Well, he's stopped potting now, but I don't think he intended to. But of course, Eddie can clear the 7 and open up the 8. But he's got to get up table. I think that's the 4 ball that's up top, so he has to get there to deal with that one. And, well, I mean, if you put bottom and right hand English on this, you can punch up to the corner on the far side to get that 4. But you risk scratching doing that with that shot. You can never guarantee the cue ball's going to head in the right direction. Depends how much English you put on it. Bottom right hand side on a draw, and he'll get over to the short side of the 4 because he's really straight. There's not much he can work with. If he doesn't put the bottom and right English on it, he's going to end up somewhere like that, which is virtually nowhere. And you know, I would have thought Eddie would have known that shot. I mean, it's a one way to get that cue ball up the table. He left himself a really tough cut in the 4, and it's a sort of roundabout way of trying to get there, but it's the ultimate reason as to why he ends up getting there. And now he's done for. So that wasn't really a good choice of shot there. I mean, this shot that he had, when he's played a straight ball like that, and the object ball he's trying to get to is down there, he needs to draw the cue ball with bottom right hand English, which then punches that cue ball over that direction. If you get it wrong, you are in danger of going near the pocket, but it's a shot that you had to play, because playing that cut in the 4 was never going to give him great control of the cue ball because he's not used to this table. And of course now also the 8 ball is in play, and that 14, let's have a look, that looks really tight, but the 14 does go. But he wants to get right in behind this 14, and that's not bad. And again, he needs to just squeeze it past, but he's got to stop the cue ball running away or run forward and get back out. Good evening to Cobra. No, he's just trying to nurse it in, and that's another way of doing it, as long as you make sure it gets there. But yeah, a poor choice of shot there by Eddie. It wasn't the way to do it, and that's cost him the first rack against the break as well. And Quagmire, couple of balls. Well, that bedhead cut in the 4, that's never going to give you great cue ball control, and he overhit it by quite a margin. Cue ball running and then hooking himself. But it just puzzles me why Eddie didn't play that shot. I mean, I think 9 out of 10 other players would have probably went for that and did it that way, because you can get that cue ball over to the left side or the right side, depending on what end you're looking at. I know I wouldn't believe in a long cut. I would have much rather get better shape in the object ball. That way, the closer you are, the better it is to try and control to get to that next ball. Anyway, Quagmire 1-0 on the stripes, and well, he tried a clever little shot there. That's unlucky, but he's still got a backup ball. He may well have been trying to get on the 10, but at the same time he was trying to improve the situation. Now he's brushed off the 8, and again, that's the cardinal sin as well. You don't want to be hitting balls if you can help it. That could have been a bad outcome there, but he's got away with it. And every ball is on, and he should be 2-0. The only worry with this shot here is what he's done. He's gone inside the 10, and he'll do well to hold for this 8 ball anywhere. He's and also try and avoid. I think he can avoid hitting the 7, because he's going to have to cut this fairly thin, this 10 ball. Well, he's run into it, but that's actually probably the best outcome, because he's gun barrel straight in the 8 for 2-0, and immediately Eddie has got a problem. Quagmire certainly can pop balls and get there so far. Well, Eddie's now under pressure immediately. Well, one way of going about it would be not sticking your neck out too far when Eddie does get a chance. But I think this 9 ball mentality takes over a lot of players, where they just want to keep potting balls and trying with every effort to run out, when sometimes one shot is one shot too many. Meanwhile, Quagmire opted for the solids. There is a gap in between that 8 ball and is it the 10 ball up there? Let's have a look. But it's a very narrow window to get on that 3 ball from that side, but certainly from the rail you can get on it. You don't have to do any disturbing, you just have to get good. Now would be an opportunity to, I don't know whether he can jack up and kill the cue ball and leave that 2 ball after he pots the 6. Let's have a look. Well, I think he can. He could run through and still play the 2, but that's then taking the cue ball away the wrong way. But if he jacked up and just finished roughly there, something like that, or maybe not as much as that, but an angle that he can pot that and get up the table. He's just come back a wee bit too much, but in actual fact, he's now got to, if he drops this in, he's running into the 15, and then he's hoping he gets on the 1. You see, that's where it was going to go wrong. He had to play the more aggressive shot there and come away for that 15, but that made the pot itself a lot more difficult. Good evening to LS3. But now the mistake, or the miss from Quagmire, has given Eddie a chance, but straight away he's tried to open up the pocket, which he has done, but he's now left himself, I don't think, with any shot. He's got to try and run for cover. And he's got it. Well, now Eddie in full control with ball in hand. But can he get the job done? Well, I think I'd be taking the 9 ball first right now, because that is a problem on that side rail, and I would want to have got rid of that first, because you get 2 balls in the centre of the table there, easy enough to get onto off that 9 ball. And the longer he leaves that 9 ball there, the more likely he might not have a good shape off the previous ball to get to the 9, and now he's looking at it. He's pushed it away, but it's just held on and no more. Well, now he's going to have to take the 10 because he's really awkward in that 15 and he's got a dodgy cut in the 12, so he needs to get better shape off this 10. But he's leaving himself big long pots like this. Well, he's almost got there, but it's another testy one into a blind pocket, this. These are what you don't like when you're not familiar with this table. He's trying to find the potting angle. Well, he's got it. And that was vital at this visit to get himself into the game. Good evening, WizKid. Welcome everybody else. Anybody I've missed? Darren Cook. Who's that in VP4? So, Eddie gets a number on the board with a little bit of relief that he got there in the end. Rack number 4, Quagmire breaking off, and I don't think anything has gone, but straight away we've got 2 balls locked up on the right hand side. But there's enough adjacent balls in and around there to just get a little nudge onto one of those 2 balls, the 15 or the 3 I think it is. Is it the 15? No, it's the 12. You know, from here, that pink looks brown to me, looking down on the table like this. Well, I think Eddie tried again straight away there to draw into that cluster of balls, those 2 balls. And now again, looking at the sort of the balls that can get him to that breakout, and it's an untidy mess down this bottom end of the table here right now. Ideally, if the 14 ball wasn't there to the left of the 6 ball, he could get rid of the 5, pot the 6, and then go off the side rail into that little cluster. I'm telling everybody you're in your sick bed, Keith, and there you're in the stream with your oxygen mask on. Good evening. You feeling any better? There's a loaded question. Well, Eddie's got the breakout, but he's got another testing pot. Either way, whatever one he chooses. Look at all the latecomers coming in. Good evening, Hazad. Good evening, Semi-Pro. Oh, by the way, if LS3's there, what happened with your match with Mr. Fox? That ended up in a forfeit as well, I noticed. What happened there? I heard they've got electricity and running water in some of the hospitals in Northern Ireland, Keith. Maybe you can confirm if that's true or not. So that is difficult. Again, these shots that these guys are missing, these all look easy to me. Again, being much more familiar with this table than these guys, these look fairly easy pots, but You know, it's just a whole different thing. It's like if you played in the 9-foot table and then suddenly you go to snooker, that's a big jump. But it's just as much of a jump moving up that extra foot. So the mistakes are coming, and Eddie has to pounce. So, I mean, if he leaves the 4 ball up there for now, he's got the backup ball, because the other problem is the 15 ball's now a blocker for the 6 ball, and the 14's a blocker for the 6 ball to the left side, so he's got bigger problems down the bottom of the table than he has of actually taking that ball up the top there. Right, see you later. And John Higgins is about to lose the second frame. Yan Bingtao is going to steal it as well. 2-0. Well, Eddie's got trouble here. I mean, he can pot this one, and he's just got to hope he gets lucky and runs into something and disturbs something here to still see the 6 ball. If he's going all out for this, because he's got no way of knowing whether he's going to have a shot or not. It's unlikely he will, the way these balls are set. But yeah, I suppose that would have been better than nothing to push the 6 onto the 15, but that would obviously still be sacrificing control of the table. So Quagmire's got control of the table. Is he going to be good enough to restore his lead? Well, he's run into his own balls there, but it's not really done him any harm. 14. Now, does he want to be playing this 15 ball as his last ball to get out onto the 8? I don't think so. And the problem now, though, is the way he's sitting, he's got to take it. He'd be sooner getting rid of that now and leaving a couple of those balls on the table there as a choice to get on the 8. It's far easier doing that than it is leaving that 15 hanging just as a guard. You've got to go for the kill. Yeah, this is now going to test his nerve here. He's just got to go straight through up to the middle pocket. In fact, beyond that, because I've just looked at the 9, it doesn't go. So he's got bigger problems. But again, if he runs through far enough up the table, he's going to leave a really awkward cut in this 12 strike ball on the right hand side. There's not really a lot he can do. He can either go forward or back with this cue ball. But he's tried to punch it, and you know what happens when you try and punch them. Now Eddie can be all square here if he just minds his work. Take the 6 and try and leave himself fairly straight in the 1. Well, that's gone wrong because he's too far to the left. Now he's got to make sure he gets far enough up the table if he's going to push through, because he's going to run into the 12. Well, that's worked out nice, but he'd no 100% guarantee of knowing that was going to finish there, but he'll take it. Yeah, shot selection. I mean, I certainly see things differently from some players. I'm not saying I'm right all the time, but again, you just you've got to look for where the issues are, and you've got to do things clean and avoid hitting balls if you can help it, because it's the one surefire way that's going to ruin that cue ball control. When you start running into balls, you're just relying on luck to get some sort of shape, and that's never a good way to progress. And obviously there are times where you can't help but do that, but you still can play the shot at a certain pace to get some sort of degree of control as to where the cue ball's going to end up, rather than, banging into a ball for no reason. So we are all square, and it's still an open table. Well, it's not really very pretty in the left hand side here, regardless of what you take. There's no real. Well, I suppose if you were on the stripes, you get rid of that 15 in the left hand side. But it doesn't. There's nothing opens up the pocket at all. The 3 ball's the main problem there. But Quagmire's gone for the solids, and there's the problems there on the left side for him as well. Well, that 7-4 combo's, it's an easy backup shot to tidy up the thing. The only concern is that he's not going to have an adjacent ball to get to that 8 ball. The cue ball may well go into the gap here. Well, he's ran forward into the 12. And of course now he's potted his other ball. Look where he's ended up. He's ended up with practically no shot on this 2 ball, and the table is wide open for Eddie. And well, the one shot he could try playing is stunning the 2 up the table and trying to drop behind that ball up the table, or just finish on the rail like that. And that's it's put pressure on Eddie. Okay, he's got a shot in the 10 ball, but it's not easy. And this will test his sighting for the pot, and he's way off the mark. Players time and time again are struggling to pick that line. Some are adapting to it better than others, but more players are finding it tough. Well, this time Quagmire, I don't think he played for the double kiss, because that's pushed the cue ball back into play. And Eddie's got an immediate second bite at the cherry, which I don't think he should be wasting this time, and he should be thinking about how to get nice on this 8 ball. And at the moment he looks as if he's going to be leaving himself a toughie if he takes this. Is it the 13 or the 11? Because he's fairly straight, and he's got back. And again, this is playing things from distance all the time, which is, you've got to get better on the shape to make it a lot more comfortable. And if he plays the 10 and doesn't come across this way to get that ball, Let's have a look. What's he got? See, this has got enough angle to play a firm stunt and get across. You've got to go right in with a shot. And if anything, he's played it too good and got himself stuck in the rail. But again, it's going to be a long 8-ball. Nothing to do other than just pot this ball and bring the cue ball back out into the table if he can. Doesn't want to be leaving it stuck in the rail and trying to cut this 8-ball. But when you've only got the top of the cue ball to work with, there's not a lot of options available to you. Well, that's exactly where he's ended up, pretty much in the rail. And now having to judge this cut into the side. But this will give him the lead. And it goes. So, while Quagmire breaks off in rack number 6, a quick reminder, because this match will be over fairly soon anyway, that race to 8's not that long. Quick reminder, we've got the match at the moment. There's another match at 9 o'clock on the one-loss side, Casino Gym and Disabler. Then we've got Albinario tomorrow night against Semi-Pro, so we've got 3 matches tomorrow night. The one at 7 with Semi-Pro and Albinario. Then there's also one at 7 that clashes with it, Sergeresh and Woody. And then we have the one lost side match between Mooncake and Spectre Dawn. That starts at 1/2 the hour, so we'll be keeping an eye on the match scores, but the main focus tomorrow night will be the Albinario Semi-Pro match. Right, well, mess of balls up table. So this rack could take a minute or two to resolve itself. Well, Eddie's chose the solids. Let's have a look up here and see what's going on. Well, obviously, he's got 2 of his solids up there and amongst the stripes, so not a lot to be done there. Well, not a lot doing in terms of potting anything. And Quagmire could have Eddie in trouble if he gets a chance to, at some point, stick that cue ball in behind his 2 balls up in that top right hand corner. With Quagmire going for the pot here. You've got the solids blocking this bottom left hand corner for Quagmire's stripes, so he's potted the ball. I mean, one thing I'd be doing right now is I would actually do that and just run for a little nudge in the edge to get to the rail and leave the cue ball up there somewhere and force Eddie having to do something rather than potting this ball. I would try and hide. Sometimes you've got to take that sort of risk. Because the thing is, if you just play it sort of dead weight and to chip the ball and get to the rail, you're not going to do an awful lot of disturbing. And at the same time, you're not leaving an awful lot available for Eddie. Well, obviously now he can't do anything with these 3 balls down here, so now he's going to have to take cover. But he's not got a great angle to do it. He's trying to make it off the rail. He could have played it in that previous shot, and he's hit that far too heavy. Because that's not got to a rail, obviously, after hitting the ball. I think the problem there is the line that he had from here was was too narrow to work with. He had to be playing that from here to get there. It would have been an easier shot, believe it or not. And he's given Eddie ball in hand. What's that? Send you a couple of ships I found, Hugh. Well, Eddie again taking the aggressive tactic. I watched that. I think I sent you a link. I'm trying to remember whether that was the guy I sent you the link, but he's got a video up on his channel today. And he's got a pyramid inside another pyramid. Clever little base that he'd built. Well, as I said earlier at the beginning of this racket, it's going to take a little while to resolve issues here, the way the table's lying. Well, No Man's Sky, the thing I get bored with, and the thing I'm not really interested in, is hunting around looking for minerals to be able to construct things, because to me that's totally tedious. You know, you do 3 hours running around a planet trying to find different things. It just bores me to death, so I just do creative mode. That's all I do when I fancy an hour or two at it. Well, as I say, my game totally messed up, so I had to do a completely clean restart in the game, and now I'm back in the first galaxy again. So Fast Eddie at the table, and now he's in control. Well, any of those games where you're limited by what you can do, by the fact you haven't got enough of a certain item, that's just boredom to me. And No Man's Sky very quickly becomes boring when you play survival mode and that type of thing. I don't get any enjoyment out of hunting about for an hour and a half looking for something and collecting so many of these, so many of those things, and so many of that thing before you can build something, you know. So I dropped that idea straight away. Well, I think Eddie couldn't have put himself in any worse shape here. It's definitely a struggle. As he called the cross bank on the 8 ball, looks like it. I didn't see what pocket he called, but it looks as if he's trying to cut this to the side rail, because it's not going anywhere else, let's be honest. But he will get one shot at it. And obviously if it doesn't go in, Quagmire should be favourite to be square in the match. Well, maybe he called it up table. Well, the only lifeline that Eddie would have had there is if that 8 ball had got closer to the pink 12 up in the top left hand corner. Well, I've got the most recent updates and everything for it, but I haven't played it for a few weeks. I've been back on the truck driving. I'm heading down to Portugal right now, which is one of the new DLCs that came out a couple of months ago, and I haven't been there yet. Well, I'll tell a lie, I'm not actually driving a truck, I'm driving a bus. I've got the passenger mod installed, which gives you an invisible trailer that you can pick up passengers in. Well, Quagmire did the right thing by leaving that last ball there as a blocker. That was a sensible thing to do, because if you can't get the job done at that visit, then you make sure that you leave that pocket blocked. But Eddie has also done the right thing, because he's cleared the pocket and he's left Quagmire an all or nothing bank on a 9. And there's not really many places that Quagmire can leave this cue ball where Eddie's not going to have a shot in the 8 ball. But you're right, it is a reasonably big pocket, but he's not picked a line. And so Eddie is getting his reward, and he's going to have a 2-rack gap. And it's Eddie's break. So now would be a good time to make a move if he can. Now, I think I heard something go. Did any? Yeah, a ball has gone. But look at where the cue ball stuck. But, I mean, I've seen worse tables than this. I mean, these balls are sitting pretty good, whichever ones you choose. I mean, the obvious decision here has been able to get rid of that 10 ball if he was going to take the stripes, because that's the one, if there's going to be an issue, might be slightly awkward just to get nice on that 10. Well, he's taking care of it, but he's not really got much of a shot apart from this cut in the 9. Was he trying to cut the 11? Well, he's heading into bedhead territory here. Early on in the rack, looking at this. Oh, he's played it well, but he's pushed the 8 ball to probably the worst place in the table. That's dead where it's sitting. And quick glance at the Higgins match. Well, this I think this is the same story for every frame. Higgins, I think, has been in first and built up a little lead, and he's in the lead in the 3rd frame at the moment. Not a big lead, just trying to build on it. Well, Eddie's his position here's getting uglier and uglier, and again he's having to just go to the well and dig out pots to survive at the table. Good evening to Bedhead. Well, we've already seen a couple of Bedhead cuts tonight so far. Eddie's going round about the houses here just trying to pot balls. Well, now here's the big test, because he's got the wrong angle in the 9, and if he plays the cut, he's got to play maybe a wee bit of inside to try and just nudge across. But if he was really brave, he would have put a bit more on it. But I think he didn't have an awful lot of room to work with there, but this was his own doing. He put the 8 ball there, and that 8 ball is frozen to the rail virtually. It's in that dangerous area. He's going to either get this flush, or he's going to hit the middle jaw, or it's going to come off the rail like that. Well, almost got the billiard off the 3. But I'll tell you what, he could have finished a lot worse than this. He's blocked the pocket. The easy 5 down the rail isn't on. It forces Quagmire into the cut in the 4. And he's got to get good behind that 2 and 6. Yeah, there's a wee bit of pressure on Quagmire here to get this done, trailing 4-2. This is not easy. Now, if he tries to get on one of them now would be a good time. He's got the spin working, but he might have overcooked it. Let's have a look. I think he can just squeeze past that and no more. Just to nudge the 2 in. Well, there you go. It looked as if he could. And Quagmire's chance has come and gone. Meanwhile, though, he's got a second prize here. Well, I'd be kicking off the bottom rail here to get to that 8. A big margin of error. I'd actually be going to the rail first, the long rail first, so that you don't follow the 8 ball in. You don't want to get this flush. You want to just nudge the rail so that the cue ball's coming away from the pocket like that. That's a good shot. He played that perfect. So Eddie has pulled away to a 3-rack lead here. Let's have a quick look at this bracket, because did I mention if anything else has started? What did I see there in that? Oh, it's at 9 o'clock. Casino Gym and Disabler. And that's the match that we're watching just now. And then, yeah, there's nothing else going on apart from this one. The other one's in about 10 minutes time. So Eddie's on the solids, and these solids, well, all the balls look very good. I mean, this will be a fail if Eddie can't do this. Now he wants to be able to push this 3 in, or maybe the 1. He would want to have an angle on this 3 so he can get. I see. Again, he's played that far too quick there. He's took absolutely no time to set himself up. And this is where you have to have a discipline in your game, and you should never really change from your rhythm, because when you look at a shot and you suddenly just want to get the shot over like that, you know, you're going to do silly misses like that. When if you took another 15 seconds just to get yourself settled, you could have got it done. So that's a fail for Eddie. There's no way he should have been playing that shot at that pace and such a quick pace when he's got a shot clock to work with. He just shot himself in the foot there. And it'll hurt even more if Quagmire can take this out and give him full punishment, because that was careless. So he's got no shot here. He's obviously got to take the 10. And does he want to believe in this 11 long? Now he's got a problem. The 11's not good from where he is. He's going to have to cut the pink 12, and he's going to be taking a path of the cue ball that goes close to that 3 ball. And if it goes 2 rails and he misses a 3, he could be running up towards the 8 and the 11, but now he's looking at the 11 instead to come back across to the 12, and this can go wrong if he goes inside the 12, and he's again way off the mark. Every time there's like a cut shot of any description that's a wee bit more than you're comfortable with, it's exaggerated even more for these guys coming to this table to play them. They're really feeling the pinch trying to pick the line. And Eddie, well, he's got into that a wee bit more than he probably would like there, but same problem for Eddie. He has to get around and avoid the traffic to try and get a shot on this 8, and that's why he's ended up overcutting the 3. Oh dear, they're coming thick and fast now. They are coming. They are a storm of unforced errors here. Now, what I was watching the snooker there. I missed what he's called here. He's called obviously the 3 ball, but I don't know where he's called it. Well, presumably it was a bank. This looks so simple. Cut the 11 and you've got to be on the 12, but if you don't find that line off the end rail, you could end up hooked here. You could end up going behind the 3. Oh, he's missed it. Well, this isn't difficult. Gentle little cut, cue ball out into the middle of the table for the 8 in the right side pocket. Well, Quagmire will breathe a sigh of relief if he gets this done, just to keep him in touch. But that rack could have went either way 3 or 4 times. Quagmire back to within 2, but once again the break is back with Eddie, so he can immediately remedy the situation if he gets a good lay-up here, or a good layout after the break. If he gets a shot, well, he's got a shot, couple of balls, 3 balls at least have gone in, and the cue ball still in the table. And well, again, this table, I mean, I'm looking at this table and I would fancy my chances on it with this setup. Right, so stripes are the choice of shot, and he's immediately left himself a problem from it because he's not got the best of line in the 9. He's left an awkward 14 ball, and he's straight away put himself under pressure here with this table lying the way it is. And this time he's found the line. Well, now 11 ball, got to take the 10 next. And the angle he's got in the 10's pretty good. Well, he's not, he's looking at the 9. I don't know, I don't like that. I'd be taking the 10 and just leaving that 9 after the 10, because then you're near the 8 ball. And, well, don't say the commentator isn't right, but he's left himself pretty much hooked in that 10 ball, and that was the wrong choice. He had to take the 10, and there was a good gap there between that 8 and 1 to get on that last ball that he potted there. Well, he's trying to jump this, but again, in my opinion, a poor choice of shot. He should have took the other ball, the 10 ball first, because it was much easier to get on that. Was it the 9 ball that was up there? Whatever one it was much easier to get into that gap than doing what he did and then hooking himself. Cardinal sin. But this is what Quagmire needs. He needs Eddie to be very obliging and give him opportunities, which he's doing, because Eddie's struggling to hold shape. Of course, Quagmire has to deliver given that opportunity, and it looks like it could be 8 ball into the left side pocket here, the way he's shaping up, because if he, oh goodness me, well, I'm cursing these players every time I open my mouth. And Eddie's back at the table, cutting in the 10 ball. And again, if you're playing this with confidence, I would just sort of draggy stun that in and bring the cue ball to about there for the pot on the 8 into the side. Well, he's letting it run, and it needs to hold the line, because any more angle than like where he's got is now put pressure on the pot, because this is not easy. Well, the racks are taking a fairly familiar pattern where there's umpteen chances for each player, because the errors are coming thick and fast. Eddie trying to settle himself. Well, why didn't he take this much time over that shot he had a couple of racks ago? This is what he should be doing, getting himself settled. And that looks as if it's going to hit the point, but it's gone in. And that was, well, that's the benefit of taking your time till you get yourself where you're happy with your setup, and then go through with the shot. Because the end result was he potted a pressure ball to regain his lead. And Quagmire came up dry, and Eddie's in straight away here, and he's gone for the solids, and he can just get to the 1. He's going to be running into the 7 though. Now again, let's have a look at that 7. Yeah, it's a bit tight, but he's going to be punching into the 7. And now I don't think he's really got a lot of angle to work with here. And the 2 balls awkward. Well, if he draws off the 4, he can try and draw somewhere up the table to see the 7, but he's running across and missed the pot. Well, Quagmire can actually just, well, I thought he was going to run off the 11 there. He's just trying to nudge his other ball towards the pocket. I thought he was going to try and nudge the 11 and try and bring the cue ball in behind the 4. And John Higgins has got a 62-34 lead, and he's still not won the frame yet, and he's 2-0 down. Jan could still probably try and pinch this. Don't know whether what's that, 32-28 behind. I think Jan needs a snooker, and John Higgins is in a snooker right now. Well, Eddie now has got a perfect angle on the 7 to pot it and let that cue ball take its natural path across the table. Well, again, he's miles off the mark. You'd think Eddie was new to Virtual Pool 4. That's exactly how a new player plays when they cannot find the potting angles when they first come to VP4. And of course now, Quagmire, great opportunity to bury Eddie, and he is well and truly buried. Of course, the other issue though is that Quagmire's 15 ball and 9 ball, Eddie does not want to be doing anything that breaks them open. Now he needs to be careful here, because he could play what I call the numpty shot and just break these open. I don't know what he's doing here. Oh, what a shot. What a shot. Well, there's a shot of the tournament there, guys. Bumps it into the rail, jumps over the 2 balls, and pots the 5 or the 3, whatever the hell ball it was. Get that one on a highlights reel. Well, it's all very well. He's got the shot, but can he get the 7? Because this is really, really tight. Just dead weight, and he's got to be on the 8 ball. Oh, he's had a snatch at it. Mind you, I forgot about the 2 as well. Well, that was a cracking shot he played there. The thing is, if he'd got that wrong, he would have smacked straight into those 2 balls and opened them up. He's still got them stuck where they are, and I don't think they're anywhere near lined up as a combo. Yeah, there's not much room to work with them, but the problem's been taken care of by Quagmire. Oh dear. What's that? His. Yeah, he's got to now immediately think about that 11 ball. He's on the 9, and that's probably as good a chance as he'll get to get nice on this 11 to get it out of the way. He has to get that dealt with. Yeah, again, Quagmire jacking up, but not really setting himself. I'd like to see players, you know, when they're not familiar enough with this table and they've got a slightly testy shot, I'd like to see them just take that wee bit more time to give themselves every chance of getting it right. It always just strikes me that they're so desperate to get the shot over with that they don't have any idea that it's going in anyway. So they're just desperate to get it done and get it out of the way. And I think the only good news though for Quagmire is the 8 ball isn't going anywhere unless Eddie can play the cut of the day up that rail to get to the hill. That's going to stay out. Yeah, he just got it to the rail too soon. And, well, Quagmire's got to cut the 11. And if he's brave enough, get that cue ball across the table and do a bit of nudging here. I mean, he could try and do a nudge off the 9, but he has to get a reasonable enough angle to be able to do that. But he's got a better chance off the 11. But then he's missed the pot because of it. And is he going to get lucky? Oh. Well, that's a struggle because the amount that you can see in that 8 ball, he's cutting it to the rail. He's not cutting it to the pocket. That's going to go that way. I think he needs to jack up and do a little soft swerve to try and really get lucky and hit the potting angle on that 8 ball. Well, he's got the spin on it. He's jacking up. He's had a go, but it was always going to go to the long rail first. Well, this time, Quagmire's got the easier shot on the 11. And I think if I was Quagmire, I'd be cutting that 10 right now. Nice and gentle. Push it onto his 9 or whatever it is. Well, he's left the 10 where it is. And now he's got to get the pace to make the cut in the 15. Well, they're finding ways to do things the hard way, I'll say that for them. Well, he's looking around the table for problems. There's one problem, and that's the 8 ball. Because he shouldn't be going anywhere near the 8 ball. Now another big test from distance. It's off the rail. Well, this might be, I was going to say a turning point, but it's not really. I mean, it's, the match has been so backward and forward and backward and forward. There's a lot of times anybody should have won the rack. It's just the fact that Eddie's won more of those than Quagmire. Quagmire's not dead and buried yet, but he's not far off it if Eddie can get this one. I think he's come up dry though. Now, while Quagmire's having a think about it, let's have a quick look at this bracket, because I do believe that other match should have started, if I can find it, wherever the hell it's gone. Let's have a look. I thought Casino Jim was supposed to be playing. There we go. Casino Jim's playing Disabler and he's 1-0 up at the moment. But once this match is finished, that's me for the night. I'm going to watch a wee bit more of the snooker before I go to bed. I've not been seeing much more than maybe another frame. And John Higgins still not won this frame yet. Well, there's 3 stripes all lined up and they all go. And the problem's the 8 ball, because the 8 ball doesn't go in either of those corner pockets. So he's got to be thinking, again, if you plan ahead before you get there, before it's too late, you have to be thinking of a way to drop behind that 8 ball. Now, if he draws back off the 14 and got fairly straightish or maybe just off straight on the 10, he could run through, and if the cue ball was heading towards the 7, that'd be a good stopper to leave a pot into the side for the 8 ball. But either way, he's got to have to get on the top side of the 8 or the short side as we look up table. Anywhere else is no good to him. So this is a critical shot as to how he gets to that 8. Well, that isn't all that bad. I mean, the angle's maybe a bit more than he would have liked. But can he just drop down below it somehow and have a shot? Well, he's done his best. And this is another blind pocket. But if that cue ball had sort of ended up down by there, it would have been a lot easier than been right up close to it. He's got to just pick that hit point. Well, this is a... If this goes in, he's still in with a chance. But it hasn't. But he might get another chance yet, because Eddie's got an awful lot of work to do here. I say an awful lot of work. The work is simply potting balls. He's got to pot a sequence of balls here to get to that 8 ball. And I don't have a lot of confidence in him at the moment. Well, get rid of the 2. Just come down to the middle of the table. Well, he's going about it another way. Again, he should have taken that 2 ball, brought the cue ball down to the middle of the table. If he finished good, he could have got rid of the 6. If he went past the 6, he could have then took the 1. Now, I don't like this at all. I mean, he's got that 2 ball up the table. That should not be there. And he's messing about down here. And he's going to make it more difficult to get on that 4 if he takes the 3, because he's still then got to head up the table. So again, he's going about this the wrong way from my point of view. 2 balls should have been dead and buried and gone. It shouldn't even be in the thought process. And now he's going to have to do things the hard way again. He's having to pot the 6. If he can't see that 4 right now, well, he can't. But either way you look at it, he's still got an awful distance to go to get nice on this 8, and that is not easy. And it could have been easier. Now he's left himself probably enough angle. I would have preferred the angle to be here though, because that means you know better the line that it's going. Well, he's got the pace right, and that's perfect. But a roundabout way of getting there, and he's now going to be 1 away. Again, a final reminder, the big match tomorrow night between Albinario and Semi Pro at 7 PM. I'll be there for that. I don't know whether Steve's going to want to join it. He'll probably let me know on the night. So open table, Fast Eddie with first choice, Quagmire coming up dry. And of course the solids are all in the bottom half of the table. It's all stripes that's beyond the line of the 2 middle pockets, the 6 ball over the left side pocket, and a problem 4 ball. And now he's got no choice but to take the 6 and start this cue ball running. Oh, he's trying to just... Is that the... That's his 1 ball. I thought that was a stripe. That's his 1. I missed that one. Well, it just goes. Well, I think nothing more than a dead weight shot just to get in that gap. Now he's got to start deciding, where can I pot this 8-ball? Now if he runs through far enough with the line that he's got, he should have that 8-ball into the corner. He should have come up table and had a look at that to see how far he wants to go. Now he's jacking up. Oh, I'm not convinced with this. I don't know what he's thinking here. Is he trying to stall it? Trying to stun it in? That's not bad. He'll take that, because it's this 8-ball for the match. I thought he was trying to run through and then kill it, and now he's got it perfect. So in the end, the player that most people thought, including myself, has gone through, but Eddie needs more practice at this table to get used to it. Quick look at the update in the Casino Gym match. Casino Gym's 2-0 up. There'll be a long way to go in that race to 8. So thanks for watching, guys. We'll be back tomorrow night. We'll keep an eye on the other matches that are going on tomorrow night, because I say I think there's 3 of them. But the main one's going to be Albinario against Semi-Pro. So I'll be there. I hope you can join us. Remember, if you can't, you can go on to YouTube and watch it. It'll be there. So with that, I'm off to watch the snooker. Take care, and I'll see you again soon. And I bid you good night, and get well soon, Keith.